Today, I think we have a really interesting question coming up. I have a lot of clients and a lot of home buyers in the South Bay of Los Angeles and the big cities. They work in the tech industry. And if you're watching this video, you work in the tech industry, you probably understand this problem. And that is your salary is not huge, but your benefits are amazing. You get a lot of stock options, a lot of equity. If you work on a startup, this is the perfect video for you to watch. Because if your salary isn't that great, you're going to have trouble qualifying for a mortgage and trouble qualifying for to buy a home. But ultimately, you should be able to, because you're getting these amazing benefits, stock options, and equity, and all this other stuff. So, first question is there a path? Is there an avenue for somebody who is maybe salary poor and benefits rich to be able to qualify for a mortgage loan?
There definitely is a path, Steve, and I think this is a great question. And so for anybody listening, if you're paid through any type of bonus structure, restricted stock units, know that just because the bank that you bank at said, yeah, we can only go off of your base salary, we can't use the other stuff, does not mean that that's the guideline for everybody. There's plenty of lenders out there, and as a mortgage broker, I'm able to go out there and look at different lenders who view this income in a different light and are able to use it towards qualifying. So quick plug for greatmortgagebroker.com. If you go there, we're happy to help you in 48 states. We're familiar with this type of stuff. I know that stories and examples generally work well for people. And so if you're Amazon, Google, any sort of tech company, the engineers that generally get these compensation packages, you'd be familiar with a signing bonus of restricted stock units, and then sometimes ongoing compensation that's part of the yearly package that's restricted stock units. Every single one of these things is written differently, so I don't want to go into too much detail about how it's calculated, because it's always going to be different. But just for those not listening, maybe your signing bonus with Amazon is we're going to give you 100 units of Amazon stock. And the important thing that we're going to look at as lenders is, how does that vest? Meaning, when do you get this stock? When is it actually yours? And, off the top of my head, some of the structures I've seen is over the first 4 years of working with them, 5% might vest in year 1, 15% of it vests in year 2, and then years 3 and 4, you get 40% and 40%. So after you've been there for 4 years, all 100 of these stocks that are $2,000 a piece, which would be like a $200,000 signing bonus, are yours, right? And so it's things like that where the lender's going to look at not only how much did you get, but when is it yours and how does it vest? And with a lot of these tech companies, social media companies, I've seen Snapchat and Facebook and the like, they will rewrite these contracts. The one that comes to mind for me is doing one for a Snapchat executive. Snapchat stock, unfortunately for this executive, was going down at a rapid pace. The good news for them is that Snapchat knows it. They want to keep their great talent around. So when the stock declined by 90%, they just said, well, listen, instead of giving you this many units at this valuation, we're going to give you 10x that amount of stock, even though it's worth 1/10, right? So you're still getting the equivalent of $250,000 or $300,000 a year in these, stock options, the restricted stock units. And, it gets relatively convoluted. That's why I didn't want to go into too much detail, where lenders will look at not the stock price today, but a 52-week average. And, you sign on with this company, Steve, they're going to give you 1,000 shares of stock that are valued at $80 a piece. Rather than look at today's stock price of $80, they're going to look at a 52-week average and say, over the last 52 weeks, it averages $72 a share. That's worth $72,000 in income, and grant you that income accordingly. And so, yeah, it's real income. And whether the person takes that stock and sells it and liquefy, or, turns it into liquid funds or not, it's still income. We're still able to use it to help people qualify.
Okay, great. So definitely it sounds like there's a path to home ownership for a lot of the startup workers, the tech workers, even executives, like senior managers who are getting a lot of their compensation through these types of stock options and other incentives, could potentially be able to afford more home than they have now by leveraging that additional income. So it sounds like this is not a job for your local bank or credit union mortgage person, and it's definitely not a job for one of these 1-800 number mortgage banks that you find on the internet. This is a specialized approach in order to maximize the value that you can qualify for.
Right. Yeah. You want to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about and can one, can structure the best looking mortgage for you. Two, can help get qualified, not put you in a situation where you're in the middle of a contract on something that they can't, close a loan on. One thing I'll add too is this specific demographic, because they're so highly levered to the stock of the company that they're working for. They want to diversify a little bit. They want to own real estate because they, aren't going to have all of their net worth tied to how good or bad Snapchat does, right? Or how good or bad, Zoom or Google does. They're going to use that income. And again, it's income because they're receiving it. If you don't have to turn it into liquid. And I remember, talking to someone that's like, oh, listen, I've got 10% down or I've got 20% down. I don't want to cash out all those stock options. Well, good. You don't have to, right? We can use it as income without turning it into liquid cash. And, for those workers who have seen success and they're compensated greatly because they're, valuable asset to these companies, qualifying for real estate to diversify and own what many of us really love as an investment vehicle, which is real estate. I'm happy to serve those tech folks for sure.
Okay, great. All right. So bottom line is, if you are in the tech industry, an executive, you have this type of setup, you need specialized help. So I'm going to have your contact information is coming up on the screen here. I have my contact information coming up. Work as a team, get a good solid pre-approval for anyone who's in these circumstances, and we can go out and be able to find a home that they can buy.
Exactly. Yeah. And for anybody, this goes for restricted stock unit income, bonus income, commission, any income that isn't straightforward salary. What you want to do is go get yourself pre-approved. You want to dial all of that stuff in. As a mortgage broker who takes a lot of pride in doing the legwork up front, I want the buyer to be comfortable and know exactly what they're qualified for, exactly what that looks for. And so when they're out there shopping for a home, they can know we're looking for something between 1.8 and 2 million. We've discussed it with Matt. We know exactly what that mortgage looks like. We know we qualify. So now it's just, let's get out there in the community. Let's talk to Steve about some beach city living and find the property we want to find. And so, there's some peace of mind in having that finance piece done up front, and we're happy to do it. So anybody that reaches out, rest assured you'll be in good hands.
All right, that sounds great. Having come from the tech industry myself in my previous life, I'm sure that my clients and I have some really interesting conversations to have as we're going out looking at homes.
Yeah.
So this has been super helpful. Any questions from anyone who's watching? Please comment below. We'll be happy to get those questions answered. Or you can reach out to us directly through our contact information, which is up on the screen. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, Steve.